Cobra UK Automotive Limited, based in Welshpool, Wales, produces niche products to the automotive interior trim market. With customers including Volvo and Bentley, they maintain high quality standards, complying to the TS16949 Automotive Quality Accreditation, and have also won several local and national business achievement awards. Their production management consisted of a series of spreadsheets, which, although linked, proved problematic to maintain and were prone to human error.
We looked at various systems in the marketplace, but in the end we thought that the one that was best suited for the company at the stages that we were, a relatively young company but with high growth and expansion plans, MRP suited us best because it allowed us to obviously limit the number of licenses in the short term, but as the company grew then we could increase the number of licenses. It was a pay-as-you-go facility, so as the company grew then the overhead burden would increase, and we weren't having a bigger burden up front that is obviously hard to manage. We were introduced to 123 MRP by our local business link West Mercia, and they had an open day whereby I came on, have a look, see if it suited you, great, if it didn't then there was nothing lost. So myself and our MD Gary Seal went along for the open day. We're very impressed on the facilities and what 123 offered, but we're also quite sceptical because at the same time the offer at the time was the training days and the workshop was available, if you like, free of charge, and you only paid for that training if you took up 123 MRP. So we were very sceptical and sort of thought, what are the catches? There must be a catch, but there actually isn't, and there wasn't. We found out that it was very useful. We went through the training in a very short period of time, and we were able to implement it again in a really short period of time.
With a factory move planned for early 2007, Cobra made a decision to select 123mrp.net in November 2006, with 2 staff attending the 5-day training courses.
The 3-day training course and then the 2-day implementation course were very good and give you a good foundation on how to apply the general system. But neither of us saw any major problems. You're given a detailed timing plan from which to work to, and that covers all the major pitfalls. So as long as you follow the timing plan given, then 9 times out of 10 you're not going to have any problems and successful implementation, and that's what we found. We just followed the timing plan and it worked fine.
The last day of training was on the 13th of December. Cobra planned to implement the system over the Christmas break to minimise downtime.
I think over the Christmas period, although there were support facilities available from 123, there were no major glitches on the implementation. We didn't need to make any phone calls, so I think once we started up and running with it, but actually loading the system with all the data in the initial stages, there were no major issues or problems.
Cobra went live across all departments simultaneously, with the exception of quotes, which was a commercial decision taken by the company owing to the number of quotes generated and methods used to create them. What was immediately noticeable was the visibility of works orders throughout the business, along with accuracy of stock amounts and values.
A push of a button you can see, or just by looking at one screen you can see what the stock value is at any one time. You can see the purchase orders that you've got to raise at any one time. You can see the works orders in priority, which you should be starting, which you should be concentrating on first, to prioritise the workload through the factory. So I would say those are the immediate improvements, rather than it being in sort of your subconscious of, I must be starting that now. I need to must be starting that job in order to get it out on time.
The amount of paperwork being generated also reduced, as stock, purchases and works orders were all on the one system, allowing for immediate reconciliation. General errors were also reduced, which Nick attributes to 123mrp.net's user interface.
It's Windows based, so it's really easy. If anyone's used any Windows applications, it's quite straightforward, it's easy to use, the icons are relatively straightforward. There's not lots of icons there, so you're only limited to what you can do on each individual screen. So it's just really easy and straightforward to use.
Cobra plans to add more licences in 2007 as the business expands.
The business needed an MRP system, and it's provided a very simple MRP system that's easy to use and very easy to implement in a short period of time. So from that side of things, I would say it's exceeded our expectations because of the length of time that we spent implementing was a 2-week period. It wasn't a long period of time where we couldn't get on with day-to-day running of the business. Is our purchase manager can concentrate on purchasing and negotiating and looking at improving benefits to the company and giving cost downs to the company, whereas I can run with the information that's available on MRP and run the day-to-day stuff. Yeah, the company is going through a massive expansion over the next sort of 3 to 5 years. We've got probably year-on-year increases, near enough doubling of turnover and profit year-on-year for the next sort of three years. So it's got a massive expansion, and MRP, the 123 MRP is going to be a big part of that. The ease of implementation is one of the main reasons. I would say flexibility is another main reason, because of the licenses and the pay-as-you-go option. You don't have a large upfront cost, and you don't have a large burden at the start of implementation, which is, I suppose, when it's its greatest risk and greatest chance of failure is at the start, whereas you don't have all those burdens with 123 MRP.